Hi, Spencer here at Classic Violins in the workshop, answering your questions about violins, bows, maintenance, and all things related to instruments. Today's question has to do with your bow, and the basic question is, how do I take care of my bow? Now, the bow is a pretty important part of your setup, right? It's essentially 50% of your musical equipment, the other half being your violin, viola, cello, or bass. For bow maintenance, the most important thing centers around tightening and loosening your bow. So this is important because when you are playing the instrument, you need to have some tension on your bow hair so that you can articulate and make sound. But when you're putting your bow away for storage, it's best to release that tension so that it's not constantly pulling on the hair or the stick, which can cause them to break or go out of shape over time. So to tighten and loosen your bow revolves around this little thing on the very end of the bow, which is called the button or the screw. On most bows it's silver, sometimes it has a black band around it. And this turns to the left and the right, just like a screw. And just like a screw, it turns to the right to tighten and to the left to loosen. Now, if I keep turning this to the left and keep loosening it, you'll see it comes actually out of the bow itself. Now, I warn you, do not try this at home. I'm doing this here so you don't have to. But this is just to show what actually happens underneath the bow. There's a little brass thing called an eyelet here on the bow itself that the screw goes into to tighten and loosen the bow itself. So let's put this back together and take a look at how this looks actually tightening and loosening your bow. So if we come in close and take a look at the bow hair, I'll bring my light down a little bit so you can hopefully see this clearly. Now looking at the bow in the center of the stick here, you can see that the hair is kind of loose and it's also very close to the bow stick itself. Now as I turn that button to the right to tighten it, watch what happens to the bow hair. You can see that this pulls away from the bow stick itself and you get a nice little gap here. This is what you want when you play on your instrument. But now you don't want to tighten it too much. You do want there to be some actual bow in the bow, as the name suggests, but you do need tension when you play. When you're done and when you put your instrument away, you turn the screw to the left, like I'm doing now, and you see the hair relaxes. It gets much closer to the stick and also becomes a lot looser. And these are really the basics of bow tightening and bow loosening, and the most effective maintenance you can do for your bow yourself. I guarantee you that your teacher does this, professionals do this, and taking care of your bow is just great preparation for getting more life out of your equipment. So with that, thank you very much for joining us here in the workshop, and if you have any questions yourself about anything we've talked about today, future videos, questions about instrument maintenance, history, technique, etc., please comment here or send us a question and we'll answer it next time we make a video. Thank you very much. Take care.